welcome back to another episode of The Last Word with your boy Arty. This week, week five recap, big week. Um, we got 75% of our picks right this week, so let's go, baby. Let's go. We would have got them even more right if I had done a proper caveat for the Patriots. I said if Mac Jones played, they would win, and I said how would the Lions score against that Patriots defense? And I made my caveat that if Mac Jones started, I picked the Patriots, but if he doesn't, I picked the Lions. I should have. I wasn't thinking about Bailey Zappi, and ever since the preseason, I've been watching Bailey Zappi, and I thought, well, he got a bigger arm than Mac Jones. All he has to do is get coached up and put him in the right scheme and situation, and we could win you some games. You could score some points. And if I had just thought about Bailey Zappi as well, I would have put my caveat as Mac Jones or Bailey Zappi starting, then I would pick the Patriots. But either way, 75% even without the Patriots pick. I got 12 out of the 16 games right. So pretty great week. Pretty impressive week five. After having my lowest percentage in week four, my highest percentage in week five. So a nice bounce back. Really went in and analyzed each pick accordingly. So I did a really good job this week. So and no joking around picking the Texans. Even though if I had picked the Texans this week, I would actually got it right. So but either way, let's get into it. The first game of the week was the Colts Broncos. We already discussed this one. This was one that we got wrong. The Broncos only scored 9 points in a football game, 9-12 to the Colts. That was one of the worst games I ever saw in my life. So Colts not Colts 12, Broncos 9. Just disgusting game. Um, Next we had the I ain't staying on them Colts game. We already discussed that one. Next game was the Giants Packers. This one we got right. We said that we picked the Giants, said the Giants would win this game. I'm believing what the boys is doing over there in New York. A lot of team people believe that they're flukes and they don't believe in Daniel Jones, especially like the Nick Wrights of the world. But Nick didn't and still doesn't believe in Josh Allen, even though Josh Allen made great improvements from what he once was. Like, and it's taking Nick all of this time because now he's just going, oh, he don't like what other people are saying about Josh, so he don't like Josh. Like, come on. But it's the same thing what he does with Daniel Jones. A lot of people are like front on Daniel Jones, but Daniel Jones is developing. And last year was a straight sabotage job by Sean Garrett and Joe, not necessarily Joe Judge, but definitely Sean Garrett, who just straight up sabotaged the Giants point blank period. Nobody could tell me otherwise. So I think the Giants are going to keep proving that they are what they're showing to be, and that Daniel Jones is going to get better and better and better as the season goes on. So shout out to the Giants, big win over the Packers. The Packers that win made the Packers look like they were more unstable than anything. So good job doing that, G-men. Great win. Lions Patriots next game. Like I said, the Patriots beat them boys 29-0. Zero, a zilch on the scoreboard after scoring all them points. You score zero against the Patriots because you're not Bill Belichick gonna tear Ryan Tannehill. Jared Goff to pieces, just gonna tear him up. So the Lions are starting to get exposed now. They're gonna probably start to slide as the schedule goes on, and they face better teams. The Patriots 29 to zip, great win with a backup quarterback shows that Bill Belichick is not to be played with. So you could keep testing him if you want, but he'll keep showing you. So great win by the Patriots. Next game is the Chargers versus the Browns. We got this one right as well. 30-28 Chargers. We just knew like without the quarterback is the great equalizer. The defenses were okay. 30-28. Obviously the defenses weren't doing much, but the Chargers just had a little bit more on offense, so we went with the Chargers, and the Chargers actually had a quarterback, even though the Browns have a great dual running back threat, which obviously was too much for the Chargers to deal with. They only beat them by a little bit, and like I said, if Deshaun Watson had played, I would have picked the Browns. So because the Chargers, I don't know, um, they don't have enough on offense, and I'm not sold on Herbert. He could throw a good ball, but his decision making is what concerns me. So next game, we got this one wrong. This is the Texans Jaguars game, and I've been saying for a while now, the prince that was promised, Trevor Lawrence, is he has no offensive weapons, and yeah, he could deliver a ball here or there, but a lot of the times he has no one to throw the ball to. So they have no real offense. They have a decent defense, but no real offense. You hold the Texans to 13, okay, they're the Texans, they have no offense, but you couldn't score. You scored only six. You scored 6 points in an NFL game, so that's not great for the prince that was promised, according to Nick Wright. Next game, we got this one right as well. Bucks versus the Falcons. It's gonna be a lot of ones that we got right. Obviously, we only got four wrong this week. Bucks Falcons. Bucks beat these boys 21-15. Now this went how I thought it was gonna go, except for the second half where the Falcons stymied their offense and actually started to come back, and then the Buccaneers needed like a phantom roughing the passer call to actually generate some not necessarily generate offense, but generate some movement down the field, right? The Buccaneers could have been in a closer game, and it wasn't impressive the way that they handled that second half against the Falcons. So we got to see how the Buccaneers kind of go game to game. We'll keep watching them and analyzing. It's really their offense that we have to watch, because the defense is all right. Okay, it'll hold you down in the beginning. This game at least held them down in the beginning, which should allow for Tom to take a significant lead, and then for the rest of the game we're just kind of keep playing keep away. But in this game, they couldn't. Tom didn't get out to a big enough lead to play keep away. And that little 15 could have been nothing if Tom had like 35, already, or if he already had like 20 something in the first half, and they were able to build upon that. But they weren't. So that 15 now looks a lot closer to 21. You weren't able to put up enough points. The defense held them to only 15. You can't say much about that, but the Buccaneers offense is something to watch. So we'll keep watching it as the season progresses. 21 points to the Falcons is just not enough, right? This one, easy pick. Bills Steelers. This wasn't going to be no upset alert. The Steelers had no chance. If we're going to say the quarterback is a great equalizer, they got a brand new rookie quarterback playing his first start. They were going to lose that game. They only scored 3 points. He didn't even score a touchdown. Like, he's going to struggle. The Steelers are going to struggle this year. It's clear. The Bills beat them 38-3. So what are you going to do about that, right? What are you going to do about that? Bills beat them 38-3. Josh Allen was throwing a party. First drive, over everybody's head for a touchdown. Later on in the game, over everybody's head for a one-handed touchdown. It was crazy. Great game by the Bills, but it's the Steelers. They're rebuilding. What do you expect? Next week they face the Chiefs. I'm picking the Chiefs in that one. I think the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs defense is fugazi right now. They letting anybody throw it down their throat. So I think that the Chiefs offense, though, should be able to keep up, even with the Bills' good defense. I really think Patrick Mahomes, with these type of games, he raised his team to that level. Like, yo, we got to get this done. Block Von Miller, make sure he's freaking blocked, and I could get this job done. So I think the Chiefs will win that. But the Bills did a good job this week facing the Steelers, 38-3 for those guys. Next game, we got this one right as well. And this one was a no-brainer. And in the last video, I'm like, am I really for the first time in my life, about to pick the Jets to win a game? And I did pick the Jets to beat the Dolphins, and they beat them like 40-17. 40-17. It was like the analytics is like sometimes it's clear. Like we saw, first of all, it wasn't even Bridgewater. Bridgewater got hurt. So that added to the analytics. But Bridgewater didn't look good in the Bengals game with the same team that Tua is thriving with. Ben Bridgewater did not look good with them. So I thought Bridgewater would be the quarterback again, and I thought that they would struggle, and I thought the Jets defense would pick Bridgewater apart and tear him up. But it wasn't even him. It was some boy named Thompson that they tore apart like that and put all them points on. So the Jets right now have a young quarterback and a young defensive unit and a young running back. So the Jets are coming. The Jets are coming. It's not even about the organization at this point, because the organization has taken a step back, and they're allowing Saleh to run the team. So if Saleh's running the team and you got all these young pieces that's going on, then I think that the Jets are definitely on their way. They're coming to put up 40 points in this game. Big deal, because the Dolphins defense isn't bad. The Dolphins defense didn't change. So for them to put up 40 is really impressive. Good win by the Jets. Next game, Bears Vikings. Obviously got this one right. The Bears just don't have enough offense this season to really compete with anybody. So most games you could pick against them, depending on if they're playing against top tier talent who can put up points. The Vikings can obviously put up points. They beat them 29-22. The Vikings have multiple offensive weapons, and Kirk Cousins can distribute the ball. So the Bears, you just look at the game and you know the Bears are going to have to keep up in terms of points. And the way that they struggle to throw the ball, you're not going to expect them to really keep up. They've only lost by 1 touchdown, which is really an indictment on the Vikings. So next week's game, I'll keep this in mind, that they allowed a team that can't score to score 22 and only beat them by 7. So that makes me a little bit concerned about the Vikings defense going forward. We'll see next week who they play, but depending on who they play, their defense is going to concern me. So we'll see. Great win by the Vikings, though, 29-22. Next game, Titans Commanders. Got this one right as well. I mean, it's few and far between right now. Titans beat them Commanders. It was an easy pick because as the Titans started to get rolling throughout the season, we saw that they were incorporating Derrick Henry more. Derrick Henry's being much more involved now. Early passes to him, great run schemes. The Commanders have beat themselves. They beat themselves in this game through a late pick. They beat themselves most of the time with Wentz's conditional inaccuracy. That's like a condition. I don't know what he has. He has inaccurate syndrome. He goes into these lulls where he just can't find a receiver. I don't know what he's doing. He's like it's a lot of, if you watch Carson Wentz, he throws a lot of out routes to the sideline, and a lot of them is just going out of bounds. Like a lot of Carson Wentz's throws just go out of bounds. Um, so they beat them 21-17, which isn't an impressive win by any stretch for the Titans, but these are a battle of two mediocre teams and actually battle of a mediocre Titans team versus a bad Washington team. So the mediocre Titan teams definitely let the bad team put up 17 points because they're mediocre. So it wasn't much. But good win by the Titans. Not great at all by any stretch of the imagination. This one we got wrong. Could never, like, Gino, you just always let me down. When I bet against you, you win, and when I pick you, you lose. Like, come on, how you let Ryan Tannenbaum, what's this boy's name? How you let Taysom Hill score 22, score a touchdown, run a touchdown on you guys? Like, come on, it's Taysom Hill. You know that's all he does. You let Andy Dalton beat you, Gino, but their score was 39-32, no defense. So the Saints defense taking a step back, but their offense took a step forward against the Seahawks defense. 39 whole points. And my whole thing was like, yo, but this is Andy Dalton, right? This is not Jameis Winston. This is Andy Dalton who threw for 187 yards, a touchdown and a pick. Taysom Hill ran for a touchdown. That's only two scores, though. That's only 14 points. Um, Taysom Hill had 3 touchdowns. Wow. Taysom Hill threw for 1 touchdown and ran for 3. Taysom Hill ran for 3 touchdowns. That's crazy. That's crazy. So so that's really why they won. The Seahawks defense wasn't prepared to face Taysom Hill run all game. The coach of the Saints knew he had to throw that in there, that nobody was going to be expecting that, and that's how he ended up winning the game. But he only won by 7, so it's really not that impressive. They both have the same record. Seahawks and Saints both 2-3. Both of these teams are really disappointing, and yeah, at least you got the win, Saints. Somebody had to lose, right? Next game, the Baker Mayfield Panthers versus the San Francisco 49ers. The Baker Mayfield Panthers lost this game big time. We already knew that. Knew that coming in that they was going to lose. This was a loss penciled in. Penciled in loss. 15-37. 37 for the 49ers to 15 for the Panthers. Matt Rule fired off after this game. Baker got a phantom high ankle sprain after this game. He don't want to get benched. So he doing all type of chicanery and tomfoolery. He hurt now. He better be hurt because they was gonna bench him. They don't even got nobody else. But once Sam Darnold come back, it's over for Baker. In my opinion, Baker's done. But they got a new coach, so maybe he'll give Baker the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he saw something in Baker, but maybe he'll just go back to Sam Darnold. Because Sam Darnold looked way better with Christian McCaffrey than Baker Mayfield ever did. So great win by the 49ers. Your man Jimmy G, man, 37 and 15. Jimmy G, 253 passing yards, 2 tutties, no picks, no turnovers. What you gonna do with that? What are you gonna do with that? Right? Rushing touchdown from Jeffrey Wilson, rushing touchdown from Tevin Coleman. Yeah. Debo Samuel had a nice big tutty too. So great win by the 49ers, I'm telling you. Right. Next game, Eagles Cardinals. We said this one was going to be close. Eagles was going to take it though. Eagles took it by 3. It was closer than I expected though. I thought the Eagles should have handled the Cardinals handily because the Cardinals don't have any offense, and the Cardinals don't have that great of a defense. But it looked like Jalen Hurts and them was struggling a little bit. I'm not entirely sure why. Jalen Hurts, to be real, if he had 239 yards and no passing touchdowns and no rushing, and maybe like a rushing touchdown, but no 2 rushing touchdowns, no passing touchdown. And I did hear, I think Kevin Wild say today that he's worried about the Eagles passing in the red zone. I'm worried about the Eagles pass defense, period, to be honest. And it's weird because you have these weapons on offense. You have Smith and A.J. Brown on offense. So you would think that their passing game would be much better, but there's something maybe scheme-wise or maybe it's a deficiency of Jalen Hurts, deficiency of his as to why their passing game, their touchdown game in the red zone and their passing game to touchdowns is not really up there like that. I don't. We got to see because they play the Cowboys this week coming up. That game, I think I'm going to go with the Eagles for sure because the defenses is okay, but then we'll go offense to the Eagles. So it's going to depend on how great the Dallas defense really is. We'll see. But like I'm saying right now, the Eagles offense seems to be struggling a little bit these past 2 weeks. If they come out against the Cowboys and struggle the same way, it's going to be a bad game for them. There's going to be a bad loss, and the Cowboys are going to look spectacular. If the Cowboys dominate on defense, they're going to look like the team to beat in the whole NFL, really, to a certain degree. Even without a quarterback, which is just looking like they have the best Super Bowl ready defense right now, them and the 49ers. So we'll see about that. But in this game, the Jalen Hurts did his thing. They ended up with 239. Kyler Murray had 250 though. One passing touchdown and an interception. So those type of things cost, especially when he did that last play run into the and he didn't get the first down and they had to settle for three, which they missed a field goal anyway and lost by three. So Kyler got to be more aware of what's going on and kind of just step up his play a little bit because his team is 2-3, and 2-3 isn't going to get the job done in any shape or form. So next game is that was the Cowboys versus no, sorry, that was the Eagles versus the Cardinals. They beat them 20-17. Next game is the Cowboys versus the Rams. This was another one. We just they had the Cowboys as like a 5-point underdog. I said, how when the freaking Rams got no offensive line and can't score? How on earth could the Cowboys be an underdog? The Rams literally don't have the better offensive unit, defensive unit right now. The Rams are struggling all around. And the Cowboys, what is Matthew Stafford gonna do? He has nobody to throw the ball to except Cooper Kupp. And he's just doing Cooper Kupp like he's Megatron, one person only. So Matt Stafford is a liability right now. Even after a big contract, him and Russell Wilson, big contract boys, both liabilities though. So it's really disappointing to see them get beat 22-10 to a team that doesn't even have their starting quarterback playing. That's crazy. That's okay. Red flags. There's fires. It's going. You can't just sit here while there's a fire blazing. You got to do something. Everything is not fine in LA right now. So good win by the Cowboys. But Rams, what the hell are we doing? Okay. All right, next game, Bengals, Ravens. We got this one right. I'm telling y'all right now, the Bengals are not good. The Bengals are not good, and the Ravens didn't look good either. But the Bengals are not good. They're not. The Ravens struggled in this game. They didn't look good. They looked bad, and they still beat the Bengals by 2 because the Bengals are not good. I'm telling you, the Bengals have their yes. If you give Joe Burrow some time, you can find an open receiver. But the whole team, the whole game, that offensive line, the whole scheme, nope, not good. It's clear. It's clear when you watch it. And it was clear when they were playing the Dolphins last week. That's when it was really clear when Tua was still playing and the Bengals looked awful. And they looked awful even when Bridgewater got in the game. And if it wasn't for Bridgewater's pick, they wouldn't even beat them by them 2 scores like I already said. The Bengals are bad. But great win, good win by the Ravens. You got the win. Somebody had to lose. You got the win. Good job. Last game of the week, we said that we called this one too. Didn't think that it was going to go the way it went. Ravens or Raiders versus Chiefs. Chiefs took it, said so, knew they were going to take it, but they started slow. But I didn't have any doubt at all when they were down 17-0 that they would at least come back and make it a game, which they did. Came back, took the lead. Um, Josh McDaniels did just going crazy. Every time you play the Chiefs, people are they're just so frantic about what's going to happen. They don't know what Patrick Mahomes might do, or they think that they're going to be able to do Josh McDaniels shouldn't have relied on his deep. Okay, if you're gonna rely on your defense, then rely on them to get a stop and get you the ball back. Don't try to go for the two then and there and lose the game on that. Give yourself a chance. Give yourself a chance. You were up 17. So what? It must be like a psychological thing in football. You don't want to be the man hyped up going, you're up 17 now, you're the guy. And now what? At the end of the game, you're fighting just to tie, and you turn around and look like a hoe. So I think that that's the mentality that they go into with these football games. We're going for the win. We're not going for the tie, especially not when we were up 17. We're not scrapping for the tie, but you weren't. Listen, the tie goes to overtime, buddy. And you give yourself a chance to win. We're not talking psychological games here. We're talking about wins and losses at a certain point. You're 1-4. We're talking wins and losses. Give yourself a chance and kick that field goal. 4 minutes left. If Patrick Mahomes took the whole 4 minutes, went down and kicked the field goal, and you lost, then so be it. But if you go for the 2 and you don't score, you're losing. So then he gets the ball back with 4 minutes, runs the clock down, and doesn't even need a field goal. That's your other option if you don't score. So give yourself a chance. Come on, simple as that. So that was the week 5 recap. Thank you guys for tuning in. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you were here with me, and we'll see you guys tomorrow for the week 6 picks. Week 6 picks. Gonna be some big games in week 6. Gonna be amazing. Bills, Chiefs, Eagles, Cowboys. It's gonna be huge. Giants versus the Ravens. That's gonna be a huge game. So we'll see how it goes. Yeah, some good games. Got the LA Rams versus the Baker Mayfield Panthers, but Baker's not playing, so I mean it's not gonna be as exciting. But yeah, some great games coming up. We'll get into them tomorrow. Thank you guys for tuning in again, and peace.